corporations will boost the California economy, improve opportunities for women in the workplace, and protect California taxpayers, shareholders, and retirees. But is this type of mandate a good idea? Here to debate this is the CEO of Walser Wealth Management, Rebecca Walser, and Democratic strategist and political analyst, Rochelle Ritchie. Thank you both for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so I'll start with you, Rochelle, because I know you're for this. Why do you think this is a good idea, to mandate that a woman has to serve on each board?
Well, look, I think that this is a threat to the status quo, and it's a step in the right direction. I mean, you have to consider the fact that California has the 5th largest economy in the world, and yet 25% of their companies do not have women serving on their boards. That's a huge problem. And unfortunately, in the United States, which has a history of discrimination, as we know, you have to legislate equality.
All right, Rebecca, you were against it. Why?
Yeah, you know, Ansley, what I'm not going to do is say that women shouldn't be on boards. We should be on boards. Of course we should be on boards. But what I will tell you is this is a very slippery slope. It takes me back to my law school days when we would, start with something innocuous and say, well, of course women should be on boards. Of course we should have, equitable distribution of gender representation. However, the government with this bill crosses the threshold of being outside the boardroom and dictating the makeup of the actual board members inside the boardroom. Somewhere from between 40 and 50% would be dictated by the government. So no, this is a huge thing. And of course, I agree that women should be on the boardroom, but they should be there by merit and not by government dictation.
Yeah, Rochelle, she brings up a really good point, because what if someone really deserves it, but they don't get that spot because they're not a female?
Well, look, as I said before, you have to legislate equality in this country. It is legislation that gave women the right to vote. It is legislation that gave women the right to join the military. And it is legislation that allowed us to keep our jobs if we were to get pregnant. But besides being an issue of equality, research has shown, dozens of researchers have shown, that when women are on the board of directors, companies make more money. There was one study that showed that the companies with women on their boards actually made 26% more in profit than male-dominated boardrooms. So this no girls allowed mentality is actually costing corporations money.
You're shaking your head no, Rebecca. Why?
No, because shareholders already are absolutely accountable. The board is already accountable to shareholders. Businesses exist. They have to make a product better, a service better than the next guy, or they won't be in business. So people are already very accountable to their shareholders. If shareholders don't like it, like if people don't like that there's no women on Skechers' board, don't buy Skechers. Make a protest. Go on social media. We are accountable, and the government does not legislate everything in this country. That is what makes us great. That is what makes us a capitalistic nature.
You have to legislate equality.
We don't have to legislate equality. That's absolutely not true.
Okay.
There's plenty of ways to
you don't have to legislate equality in this country.
Not in the boardroom, not in a publicly traded boardroom that is answered to shareholders. We're not answering to the government with our companies. We are answering to our shareholders. There's a difference between capitalism and socialism. This is a much bigger issue. We can all agree that women should be in the boardroom. This is not the way to do it. What's next? Okay. We have to have ethnicity. We have to have gender equality. We have to have sexual orientation. Exactly. So we can't go down the road of the government running our corporations. This is socialism. Guys, it's something that we should all agree with.
Rebecca, Rochelle, thank you so much for being with us. Great to see you both ladies.